Good evening, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. A subject that never actually goes away. It's one of those subjects that there's not enough words can be spoken about it, not enough opinions can be expressed on it, not enough evidence to either way can be offered, and it all proves nothing because it ends up in just whatever your opinion on your viewpoint is. I'm talking about whether a Filipina will marry for money or not. So let me tell you without names of some of the examples that I've seen, people writing to us, people telling us what their life experience has been since they arrived in the Philippines and before. And what actually comes very clear when you start listening to some of the stories is that the classic stereotypical way that it happens when an expat comes over, a foreigner comes over, he meets somebody who manages to charm him with her charms and gets all his money and then shows him the door. I remember one particular case. This was in Thailand, and what happened there was the man actually built a house to Western standards, and went shopping, and it was quite an experience for him. Actually, it was a shopping trip that didn't end well. When he got home, he tried his key in the lock and the key didn't fit. So he began to wonder what had happened. He went round, checked all the windows, and all the windows were locked. And he was still in the process of trying to work out, hammering on the door, saying, "Hey, it's me," and no answer from the wife or girlfriend that he knew was inside, when the police arrived and said, "Yes, sir, how can we help you? What are you trying to do here?" And he said, "Well, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm trying to get into my house." Well, let's go and talk to the owner and see what's happening, shall we, sir? And they knock on the door. This is the police. And when the wife comes out, she said, "This is my house. This man is not welcome here. He doesn't have any claim to the house." And so it didn't end very well. Now, that would be, I guess, the classic case, wouldn't it? A boy meets girl, or girl meets boy, girl rips off boy and shows him the door. The relationships that I know of just don't fit into that category. I know lots where it has not ended well, and there has been no money to talk of. So it's just been a case of splitting up. But in one particular case, there was a child, and the girlfriend took the child. The father had little in the way of rights, even though I believe that he went to court and tried to fight for his rights to see his son. I don't think that was a greatly happy ending either. So there was no question of money being there anyway. So now, the other case, the man came over. There was a purchase of property that was in the name of his girlfriend. There was money that was there, and the girlfriend had complete access to that money, which was, for Filipinos up in the a very comfortable situation, and a piece of property that had been placed in her name elsewhere. he went back to attend to some business in the States. There was no theft, there was no... Had the lady wanted to run off with all of the money, she would have been easily able to do so, but she didn't. So there's a case where the stereotype doesn't fit it. Somebody else that I know is happily married to a lady who is a lot younger than himself and owns everything that they have. Everything that they have is in her name. Has she run off? Has she thrown him out the door? No, she hasn't. And there's just such a great number of these cases like this where the woman could have run off if she wanted to. She could have taken all the money and didn't. And these are people that have struggled through a relationship and made it work. And if it was money, as soon as it started to get a little bit difficult, the woman could have just gone. But she didn't. You know, for myself, if there's a great... Well, actually, to be honest, to be factual, the greatest age difference that I have heard so far is my own. The difference between me and Beth is 50 years. And I don't have anything in my name because I'm 80 years old, and I'm very realistic that another day, as a friend of mine used to say, any day above ground is a good day. Well, I'd like to think of it slightly differently to that, but if we had nothing when we came together, very, very little. I had enough to make a start, but I had a modest pension, two extremely modest pensions, which, as I put it to Beth, I don't have any money, but I have enough coming in every month for us to live modestly. We don't live a high life now, even though we have created a YouTube channel which affords us, not in dollars certainly, but in pesos, affords us a way to be comfortable. And we have always saved very hard and paid for everything that we've got now is paid in cash. So we live debt-free. And if anybody was going to take anybody, I'm on the slab. I would be on the sacrificial slab, if you like, ready to be taken for everything I've got. Actually, she wouldn't take everything I got because she's already got it. So before anybody rushes off and says all Filipinos are this or all Filipinos are that, all Filipinos are neither this or that. Just as in any nation, in any nationality, in any race, there is difference. The generalities really don't work. You can find something that will contradict the generality that you are trying to support quite easily. You can say that this is this, and somebody else will say, no, it's not, it's that. And between this and that is a whole variety of different cases concerning humanity. And my own experience of looking at my own situation and listening to the stories, the many stories, success stories I count them as, of men who write and talk about 30-year marriages, 30 years, and others where people have been married for a long time, have created a family, the family have grown up, have been supported, have been put through college in some cases, and then one has lost the partner, and in some cases it's the man that's been lost, leaving a Filipina woman grieving and wondering if love will ever come to her again, or the man who will have lost his Filipina wife and wonder how his life will ever be the same again. Someone, a subscriber who has become a friend, talked about love and said she really couldn't make up her mind about the whole subject of love. She had had failed marriages and was now married to a man who, she said, I can't make a statement about love. All I know is when he's not here, I feel like I've lost a limb. I think that was the quote. So what we have to do is we have to allow that things may not be quite as we think. Now, I have a subscriber who's just written to me and said that he's planning on coming out here. He was coming out when he first started writing to me. He was saying that he was coming out to meet his lady, and then a little while later he said, well, it's come and gone and been on and off, and finally it's over for good. So his plan to come to the Philippines was outstanding. My response to him was, it takes a great deal of courage to come out here to the Philippines and not have anyone to meet. We did have someone who came out very recently, and he came out purely on spec, and he came out and we met him and chatted over, and he'd been to several places in the Philippines, was off on another trip, and as a result of being on one of our videos, he had more shall we say applications for a relationship with him than he could possibly handle. So things happen differently. To the man who's just had his on-off relationship permanently off, I said, why don't you just come out here, do a research on which part of the Philippines you would like to be in, and then go to that part and experience it for yourself. Go, you will meet, this is a guarantee, you will meet woman after lovely woman after lovely woman who will be willing to talk to you and give you a chance. So often it seems in the West, women will not even give a guy a chance, especially if he's in the advancing years. So my advice is, come out here. It takes courage. Come out here and meet women leading their ordinary lives as cashiers, as as doctors, as nurses, as bank employees, as all kinds of people who are employed, sometimes supporting their family, often supporting their family, and behaving in a responsible way, and not working in a bar, and not trying to take people for money, and not really going out in the daytime expecting to meet a foreigner. But it can happen. And I think coming out here and meeting people face to face is a very good way to find ordinary, everyday people who are willing to give you a chance. But first, you have to take the chance and get on a plane. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Bye for now.